All right, I just got 1.2 billion against Sentry in Battle World, and I got to give a shout out to Dorky Dad, where all of this information came from. So if you want a more detailed explanation on how this works or why this works, be sure to check out Dorky Dad's video from 2 weeks ago. And this was the basic template, although I did change one thing around. The first team that I used was Astral, and that was fine. Then I did Fantastic 3 with Odin and Mephisto, and then the next team I made an adjustment. There's Old Man Logan, Yo-Yo, Kahori, and Havoc, and I swapped out Ms. Marvel Classic for Professor X. Now this team right here is a glitch team, and so the weird thing about this is if Emma is on the team with Kang, Kang will go before, and when he does that initial wipe, there's a bunch, at the beginning of the match, and I got footage of this right here. He goes early. You can't really see it, but it does like 54 million damage right out of the gate. So this is like a glitch team that'll help get a high number. I still didn't get a lot of points from that. And then Brimstone has got the sauce and everything built into the kit and gets monstrous damage. And my Brimstone is not huge. I don't have any of them at max red stars or anything like that. Although I am deeply interested in Damon. He seems bonkers good. And their damage cap is higher on that. So be sure to check out Dorky Dad's video if you want a little bit more detail as to why that worked. But I can confirm that it does work. And using that list there, I was able to get a number of 1.2 million. Other thing, too, is if you don't have Brimstone, you can use Vigilante, and that will, of course, not have as favorable results. Now, I just wanted to point this out. Is there anything scamier than a company advertising a game with fake game footage? I didn't think that Marvel Strike Force was going to stoop to this level. This looks like Future Fight. They made the game look like Future Fight, and this is a Marvel Strike Force ad on Instagram. I'm kind of blown away by this. Like, why would they do this? Like a recharge, and then there's a little... this drives me kind of insane, actually. I just feel like they shouldn't have to do that. Then they show the actual footage, right? That's actual gameplay footage, but before that, they're showing this like... Someone created this for a game. Now, I do play Raid Shadow Legends, and they did something like this where it had this like fake gameplay footage that's not in the game, and they were doing ads. But then they actually released that game mode as like a side quest in the game, and it's really wild. But it only worked on their PC client, so like it didn't make it actually into the mobile app. But the advertisement they were using actually was a playable game mode on the PC client, and you just got bonus rewards by playing it, extra stuff. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about how much gold we can earn in a day and a month, and this data right here is collected by Big Positive Geek and Rage Gaming. Big Positive Geek sent me this, and I just wanted to point out that there is some drastic numbers, and so the numbers that we're looking at is above me here. So this is for January. You can see that there was in total 300 million, and that means that one could spend about 9.7 million a day and still be breaking even. Then it went down a little bit in February. We still have that 9.7 million number, and that's mainly what I'm looking at because February, of course, has less days. And you can see that even in in March, it was 10 million. Well, let's go all the way to October. What happened? That is a monstrous drop. We're talking like a 40% drop right there. 192 million, which is only 6 million a day, as opposed to numbers that were closer to 9.5 through 10 million. September, 8 million per day. August, 8.7 million a day. July, 7. So there's a drastic drop in gold income. So there was some suspicion that this was happening. Somebody asked today on my Twitch chat, how much gold is that? Well, yeah, it has dropped. If we look at the numbers at the beginning of the year, they were significantly higher. As much as let's see. I mean, if we look at October at 192 million versus, let's say, March at 321 million, that's a big, 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 big change. Big. So this was big positive geeks number right there. BPG. Monstrous difference. And then lastly, someone that was an absolute beacon for the community quit the game. Someone that I was in alliance with, Big Spartan, and nothing to do. Why is the game so boring now? And I just wanted to read what he sent me. It says, hey, Mobile, after much consideration, decided I'll be retiring from All Strike at the end of the season. I've been playing for over 7 years. It's time to call it. Thanks for everything you've done. Good luck in the future. Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I don't find any enjoyment in Cosmic Crucible, Raids, or War. Every time they try to incentivize those modes with updated rewards, it's half-assed and not enough. I was waiting to see Battle World 2, and that's nothing exciting. Easier, Annihilate, Mega Raids didn't add anything fun with minimal increase to G20 gear. You seem to getting Pocket Dimensions, Tower Kiln, etc. far less often. The Blue Marvel nodes are barely engaging content. Space too far apart if you're not spending. The only good rewards seem to come from leaderboards, which are essentially auctions, right? Legendary releases in Danger Room are milestones and chill, since the leaderboards are their only borders, and finish those in single runs. They claim to not be running on reduced staff. No, I don't know that they said that. I was under the impression that they were running on severely reduced staff. But it feels like gaslighting. Try to remain as optimistic as possible. They're going to turn around. I have no optimism left. End-game problems, I know, but I don't think the juice is worth squeezing more in terms of effort versus, and that's cut off right there, but it says enjoyment. Yeah, I agree with that. This is legitimate complaints. The one thing, though, that I do say is they claim, I've not seen that. In the calls that I've had with developers, they don't say, hey, we're running with reduced staff. What they say is, we just don't have the resources. We can't build content fast enough for the community to keep up with. And there's an implication that they're running on a reduced staff, but I don't think they've ever verbalized it. They most certainly have not denied it. So, yeah, the game's in a weird place. I'm still having fun. I did have fun today playing in Battle World, but there's not a lot to the fight, if I'm being frank. I mean, I ran it manually, 1.2 billion. But I don't know if, I could have just run it on auto. I'm not even sure, it would have been that much fun. You know what I mean? It was just kind of a weird thing. I definitely enjoy Danger Room, and but my interest in War and Crucible is a little bit lower than normal right now. It is what it is. All right, let me know what you think about all of this. And as always, if you leave a thumbs up on the video, always remember that when you give a video a thumbs up, there's 4 fingers pointing back at yourself.